Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Coprolites podcast, where we take shit seriously. With us tonight, we have a full crew today. We have Coprolite David. Say hi,
Hello.
David.
Yeah.
Coprolite Fred. Rar. Coprolite Marty. and then, of course, myself, Coprolite Rick. Rar, I guess. There you go.
I didn't get to roar. We're all roaring.
That was my contribution to the ambience tonight. All right. To kick things off, as if we haven't already, we in our last podcast we asked some of our viewers to throw together some concepts for what you guys think the Diabolus Rex, or Diabolus, whatever you pronounce it, the D-Rex from Jurassic World, what you guys might think it will look like. So we have a bit of a lineup here, some of the art you guys have submitted, some of our own contributions here as well. So to start, Hellraptor was gracious enough to provide not one, but 3 different concepts for us to look at tonight. So we'll just go ahead and check out his first one here. So this to me, I immediately think giant raptor is my first impression with this concept here. This is Hellraptors. I do like the pattern of orange and black stripes. It kind of reminds me of the Nublar raptors from the Lost World Jurassic Park, the males. So it kind of makes me think there's a little bit of that in there. And then, of course, there's also the quills on the neck, so it makes me think this is almost like a hybrid, not just between raptor, T-Rex, and whatever, but maybe even a hybrid between the 2 raptor species that already exist on the islands as well. So I just think that's a really cool dynamic. The head definitely looks very raptor-like to me. Then, of course, you got the forked tongue, which is kind of the incorporation of that snake DNA. And for those of our listeners who are just joining us tonight, Diabolus Rex is the new dinosaur in Jurassic World that is supposed to be a hybrid between raptors, T-Rex, snakes, and cuttlefish. The cuttlefish, I'm not really expecting to see that much in any of the concept art. Because I just assume that that's more just for the camouflage ability that Jurassic World wants the Diabolus Rex to have. So that's what I think. I think this first concept is pretty cool. I could definitely live with the looking like this officially. What do you think about it, David?
I agree on the fact that it does read to be like a very large dromaeosaur. I will admit, I think the Hellraptor could have pushed a little bit more of the hybridization, because the main feel that you get from looking at it is that of a raptor. The size alone is pretty much what gives you the T-Rex feel. Although I will give him credit to the contour of the skull. It does look like T-Rex's, but the proportion he decided to make it at made it read more like another raptor skull. But I will say that I really like how he handled the eye on the thing, because in all of the D-Rexes that I've seen from our collection, this one really makes note of the cuttlefish by incorporating the large eye into the design.
That's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like this one out of all the 3 that he's done. Yeah, it looks a bit too much like a raptor, but I don't know. It looks great. I do like the orange and black. Like what Rick said, it reminds me of the Lost World raptors, and I love the head that he did. It looks really cool, along with the violet eye, the purple eye. I really love that eye.
Yeah, it's really very striking.
Very awesome.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with David. It's a bit too raptor-esque. I do like the coloration, if anybody knows. I really like orange and black, especially a combination of the 2.
Yeah.
I really do like the skull on the eye. I think that's the best part of this reconstruction.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little bit too raptor-esque, and I don't think this is what it would have looked like, because Universal wants it to be iconic and
Right.
distinguishable from Raptor and Rex. I just think it's a bit too Raptor and not enough
Absolutely.
hybridization. But I still like it nonetheless.
Well, that being said, here is Hellraptor's second piece. This one, I think, does a much better job of adequately combining the different creatures we expect to see in the D-Rex. We have a very Tyrannosaur-looking skull with some very obvious snake-like characteristics to it, namely the pronounced fangs, the forked tongue, even the little horns above its eyes that would remind you of some type of viper. And then you have the toe claws, the retractable sickle claws on its feet there. So I think this one does a much better job of blending those different characteristics together. In fact, I think I like this one quite a bit more. What do you think, David?
I definitely agree on the points that it's a lot more. It looks more like a combination of multiple animals than the first one did. This one definitely leans more toward being a T-Rex than a Raptor, but it manages to do so in a way that's not it's not particularly overbearing, because the quintessential features of the Raptor, the arms and the toe claws and stuff, they're all very they're very distinguished features. So to have them at all on the T-Rex makes it feel like more like a hybrid than anything, because it's got the T-Rex's size and bulk and body, but then it has the actual arms and the feet of the Raptor. I will admit it kind of has a bit of a clumsy feel to it because of that, because the Raptor feet are supposed to be on a much smaller, lighter, quicker creature, and putting them on the T-Rex body like this does feel a little strange, I will admit, but other than that, it's definitely a good handling of the concept. I agree, the horns are a really nice touch. The inside of the mouth is pretty cool, and overall, this is a good combination. Color wise, I think that it looks like he's trying to use cuttlefish colors, because they have those blocks of like different pigment that they can change and utilize. I think he could have handled it a little bit better, because it comes off looking like I don't know, just something other than the creatures it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's got these really big, bold blotches. I think they probably should have been smaller and more numerous.
I think, it seems to me just the environment that it would be in, the coloration doesn't really seem. But then again, I mean, we're talking an animal that can change its coloration to an unprecedented degree. So, I mean, the coloration probably doesn't matter that much.
True.
Just knowing what, the ability this creature has. But yeah, that's nevertheless a good observation. What do you think, Fred?
I kind of like it. I like how it's not the color scheme you'd think you'd see on an animal with camouflage, but because his camouflage ability is so amazing, his default coloration, or whatever you might call it, would kind of make sense to be bright and vivid. So then he'll just automatically hide himself when he needs to, and you won't see the bright yellow and dark black.
Yeah.
I do like the head. I like how the head looks. I mean, the fangs are a little too small, but other than that, it looks pretty good. I like how he made the T-Rex arms longer instead of giving it full Raptor arms. So that's pretty cool.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I like how the arms are longer, but then they still just have the 2 digits there.
Yeah.
That's a good touch. How about you, Marty?
This is by far my favorite of the 3. The only critique I could possibly say is I wish it was more elongated and streamlined instead of less on the T-Rex side. But I do agree, it is a big improvement over the hybridization of the first one, and I actually might like the coloration on this one more than the other one.
Oh.
Yeah. If it was smaller, more streamlined, I would love it. I mean, I like it now, but I just have a preference for smaller animals for hybrids. That's just my preference.
Now that you think about it, though, the coloration of this one does remind me a little bit of certain types of snakes with the blotches and the way that they're patterned. It's just the yellow it contrasts really. I don't want to say awkwardly, but it contrasts a little more vibrantly with the dark black than than a more subtle snakeskin coloration would. But I can definitely see like some snake in there actually.
Yeah, now that
When
you
I
mention
really
it,
look
kind
at
of like a generic constrictor.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I actually like that. I just don't know if I would like the yellow to be quite as bright, because I don't think that's very advantageous for an animal that is supposed to, be camouflaging itself all the time. But,
Then
could
again,
be.
it does have camo. I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, it could, it could be, just like a threat display or something that it
Right.
briefly switched its pigments to. Okay, so then his third one here.
Onward.
There we go. His third one. This one here, I honestly don't get a lot of hybridization from it at all. In fact, it almost looks to me like he was trying to make a D-Rex that superficially resembled a Carnotaurus.
yeah.
Which is understandable, considering that the Diabolus Rex is kind of Jurassic World's answer to the Carnotaurus in the novels. I do see some features here, like the forelimbs obviously are very raptor-esque. They do remind me a bit of a raptor, and then you have on the feet there, you have that inner toe is still quite a bit more pronounced than the other ones. It's not really raised up quite like the others, but you still see a little bit of that. Other than that, I don't really see much raptor, T-Rex, or snake or anything like that in this one. So overall, this one I have to say isn't my favorite of the three, but it's definitely a good attempt. Although, actually, hold on. If I look at it really close, I can almost see it. Almost looks like those bottom jaws look like they are able to dislocate or
Now
separate.
that you mentioned it, I can see that
I
too.
see what you mean.
Can you kind of see that a little bit?
I see what. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. That I literally just noticed that. I couldn't really tell because the blood was kind of in the way, kind of blending it all together. But I do see a little bit of that. I wonder if that is what he intended.
Hopefully we get some feedback from him in comments or something. I know he was talking to me on my DeviantArt page about the Coprolites video when he was submitting the images. My opinions on this one, I agree with everything that Rick just said about it. It has a very unified design, which works against it in this case, because usually you would want a hybrid to feel unified. You don't want it to just look like a mixed match of parts. But this particular iteration of the design, it doesn't harken very much to the creatures in question. The arms, I could see the raptor in the arms. The head's very T-Rex like. The lower jaw's a nice touch, but it's like overall I don't know, it just doesn't feel like D-Rex. I think I would have liked it better if he would have made the eyes large again, tried to make the mouth a bit more snake-like with the teeth like he did on the other one. But I will admit, I really do like how he handled the feet, because just because it's part raptor doesn't mean the toe claw always has to be pointing up. I like how he had it just with the claws all down, and one just so happened to be larger than the other ones.
Yeah.
Well, for my opinion, I actually don't mind it. I mean, it's not like what Rick said. It's not the best of the three, but I do like how, like what David said, the large claws on the ground, and the let's hope that's the bottom jaw is what we think it is. It's like a split jaw, like a snake. But it is kind of I guess this was his first attempt, so I don't mind. The coloration I'm not really liking, but overall it's satisfying. It's okay.
I'm pretty much agree with some points that you've all made. The thing that I need to get across is since Universal does want this thing to be iconic, I don't think it's going to necessarily look exactly like a hybrid of a T-Rex and a Raptor. There's going to be some things that won't look like both of them.
Yeah.
I do like. It's a good attempt. I think it was his first attempt, if I'm right. It's definitely not my favorite of the three. As you can see, the second one was my favorite.
Yeah.
The coloration's okay. I don't think it really clashes well with the gray and the beige and the orange. And what you said, it does look like the head was based off a Carnotaurus. No, that isn't necessarily bad. I think it's actually a cool looking skull.
Yeah, it is.
And I do like the toe claws that aren't raised. I don't really like to see D-Rex concept art with the toe claw raised. I don't know. I just don't like it. So I'm glad it's not raised here.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Honestly, that is a good point.
Yeah. So that's basically my thoughts on it.
For my
Well, thank
opinion
you.
on the, like real quick, when it comes to the toe claw being raised onto the D-Rex, I just think it ends up looking clumsy because it looks like it would be sacrificing balance for simply an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look functional.
Yeah, on an animal that big, like especially, I mean, a Tyrannosaur, I mean, all its power is in its jaws, and it doesn't need or would probably use those claws for anything on its feet. So it would just seem redundant to have something with a Tyrannosaur's head also have something with a raptor's tail. I mean, that just seems too contrived to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that
definitely
is
see it.
true. I do like that aspect of this version, that the toe claw, while you can see there is a little bit of raptor influence there, it's not quite as dramatic as the other ones. But overall, I think we all agree that the second one is our favorite.
Indeed. If it had an elongated torso, a lower profile, and an overall longer body and streamline, it would be my top pick.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hellraptor, for your contribution.
Indeed.
absolutely.
Great drawings.
You man.
Okay, and then
What's next?
there's this one here. Now, I don't actually know whose this one is. Do you guys know?
No, but there's a signature.
It was a member on Jurassic Park Legacy who posted it on
Okay.
the forum, and I will link his name after we are done with the.
Okay, fantastic. So this one, I actually kind of like it. I do see a little bit of hybridization between. I see a lot of raptor here and a little bit of snake. I don't see a lot of T-Rex though. So I don't know, but I think the skull overall is pretty cool. It certainly does look quite. What's the word I'm looking for? Quite threatening, I guess. Like definitely
Menacing?
something.
You would not.
Yeah,
want to come across that in a dark
menacing.
alley.
There you go. Yeah. It
Yeah, I
definitely
can
looks
see
quite.
this thing raising his head up and looking at you very angry. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
like
that.
this is what I can see as something that would be legitimately terrifying as, the D-Rex of Jurassic World. Like if I saw this thing emerging, on screen for the first time, I would be legitimately intimidated. I mean, this is honestly a really cool design. I think my only thing about it is I just don't see enough T-Rex in it,
Agreed.
But aside from that, I actually like it.
I definitely agree with you, Rick. It does read so much like a raptor, since there's no kind of since there's nothing in the composition to give us a feel of scale. This honestly looks like a small animal. Like it
That's
literally,
true.
it reads like a velociraptor. I see he very clearly used the arms and legs for the velociraptor. The more I look at the neck and the back, the tail, and some of the skull, it kind of looks like it has a T-Rex to it, but it's like the way the upper jaw is larger than the lower jaw, it still comes out looking like a raptor. I know a lot of snakes have that sort of proportion to where the lower jaws aren't nearly as large as the upper jaw,
Mm.
but just overall, there's he could have done more to push the T-Rex. It looks small, and I don't like. Well, I will admit it's very imposing, and I actually like the fact that it has such a drab colors because that suggests that it's more flexible and it's color changing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because, like,
that's what I like about it.
Because when I look at it, it's like, nah, it's just like kind of like, what is that, like almost grayish green on brown, but it's like that means it could become anything. All it has to do is just set up the different like shades, and it can become any color necessary. And honestly, you don't always need stripes or spots to camouflage onto something, especially if you're moving around in low visibility, like nighttime and stuff. It would need stripes.
Yep.
I like it. I mean, it's a little too raptor again, but I can see the T-Rex in the upper leg and the tail and the back, so that's good. I can see what he was doing there. The feet and the hands are, I guess, a little too raptor. Not much not much of a mix there, but I do like the head. Yeah, like what Rick said, it's very menacing. I can see this guy lifting his head up, looking at its next victim, and it's just staring at you. And it's just going to wait till you do something until it comes after you, like play. Like, it loves killing things. So I can see this thing ripping people apart.
Yeah.
Very scary.
I am quite indifferent about it. I mentioned on JPL, I don't like it overall. It's great art. The skull, I do love. I think it's a great looking skull. The only problem I have is very raptor-like, and I don't think this is what Universal would come up with if they were making an iconic monster. Here's what I would change. The arms, I would make stubby. More along the line of T-Rex.
Right.
Bellisaurid, maybe.
That'd be interesting.
Keep the raptor toe claw. I'm actually going to keep the raptor toe claw for once.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
look at that.
For this, just this once.
Just once.
Make it have a T-Rex tail, and I think it would look a lot better and more of a hybrid-looking animal.
Yeah.
But to be fair to him, we can only see part of the tail. And then again, it's not like there's going to be a world of difference between the tails anyway. Tails.
Yeah.
Well, a raptor's tail does have I forget what they're called. Yeah, it's much more stiff because it is reinforced with those
bony rods or whatever.
Yeah.
Interconnecting rods.
Yes.
And the tails weren't exactly like that in Jurassic Park, though.
That's true, though.
No, they weren't.
They did
That's
aim
true.
upwards, though.
That's true, though. Yeah.
T-Rex were more flexible in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I would change. I would make it have a much more elongated body, like my previous.
Right.
And stubby arms, and keep the skull, because the skull's really nice. It's just too raptor for me.
So overall, I think the thing we're getting out of this one is that the head is definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, I really like how he decided to handle the teeth because they don't look blade-like for cutting. They look like they're needle-like teeth for gripping.
Yeah, they
so
do look like it is a very snake-like jaw, and I do like that.
He did a good job referencing snakes.
Yeah.
All right,
well, awesome.
on to the next
that
one.
One's cool. Okay, so this next one here is just a bust. So we don't have a body, but we do have a little bit of a head to look at here. To me, the art is good and everything, but there doesn't seem to be a lot to it really. I guess I can see a little bit of snake in there with the forked tongue and the snout and things like that. But overall, without having a body to kind of put the head on, I don't really have a lot to say about this one.
I definitely agree. I think this one's shooting itself in the foot because he definitely was trying to stay pretty close to the traditional Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus design, but that's hurting this because it doesn't look enough like a hybrid. And like you said, we don't have a body to work with to understand the context of this creature. So looking at it immediately, it's like it literally looks like the T-Rex, but with like Slightly more snake-like teeth, and the forked tongue, and I see he extended the snout and made it more square to be kind of like a boa constrictor or something.
Yeah, I
but
can see that. I do like that, though.
I just don't
I
feel
do
like
like
it's
that. Just
I
personally.
don't feel like it's strong enough to really hold the concept. It still has a lot of T-Rex in there, and the lack of a body is also hurting it because we see absolutely no raptor in here unless you want to say the eye is like a raptor eye.
Right.
Well, in my opinion, it's kind of too Rexy. I mean, I could see if you just chop off like the end of the nose, it's just a JP Rex. I do like the coloration a bit, but the nose reminds me too much of a shark for some reason because it's so pointy.
I could see
It reminds me too much of a shark. If you didn't tell me this was a D8 Rex, I would have said, "Oh look, a dino shark."
Yeah, I actually agree with that because of how
now,
triangular
yeah,
the teeth are.
that
Like,
I can see that now, and now it can't be unseen.
Like the teeth are very straight, like because on a Tyrannosaur they have that, they always compare their teeth to bananas, and on snakes they have like these almost like hook-like teeth. So to have them so straight like that, it actually does read pretty sharpy. Like if he would have left out the forked tongue, I agree. I probably would have thought it would be some kind of like shark dinosaur hybrid, like Fred was saying.
Right.
So my sentiments is pretty much the exact same as everybody else. It's too Rexy, and that's pretty much it. The art is great by far. The art is excellent.
Definitely very good shading and coloring.
Yeah,
good pencil work.
Absolutely.
Like his actual technique and handling is no offense to Hellraptor, but I would say it's probably better than all three of his. But it's just the fact of the actual creativity of the design is lacking, and that's the important part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I really wouldn't see this one being anything like what the D-Rex is actually going to look like. But definitely a good attempt, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe those were all the ones that other people submitted or drew anyway, and we hunted them down. However we did that. So three of us here made our own contributions as well. I'll just go through mine really quick because I actually did do this one before, and this is kind of the one that we discussed last time, to where we kind of put out the whole idea. We wanted you guys to show us some of your stuff, but this is my concept here. It's kind of I pretty much said everything about it in our last podcast. Kind of a low profile, very elongated, very snake-like overall. I gave it a very viper-like head with kind of a Tyrannosaur-like crest, a heat-sensing pit and forked tongue, very much like a snake. And you can't see it from this angle, but the lower jaws are supposed to be able to dislocate. This thing is supposed to be venomous. It has the longer arms like a raptor, but then they're still two-fingered like a T-Rex. So I just did my absolute best to make a very natural-looking hybrid between all those different animals. So that's kind of where I'm going from with this one. And I guess we all did kind of voice our opinions on it before, but I guess if we just want to do that again for the sake of it, what do you think about mine, David?
Now that I'm looking at it again, it's like I still like it. I really like how you said you try to make it look natural, and I believe you did a very good job of blending all the features, but without doing so in a really forced way. You sort of instead of just having like the arms of the raptor, the legs of the T-Rex, the head of the snake, like you decided to blend them and put them together, because the skull right now is like you didn't shrink wrap it, so we can't see the actual like design of the bones, but the way you handled it. It has the size and weight of a T-Rex skull, but still feels very serpentine. And throughout a lot of the discussion, Marty was suggesting that the D-Rex design should have a longer torso. I don't entirely agree. I actually think that giving it a longer neck, like you did, is more powerful and suggestive, and also works better for the role of being a movie monster. Because of the longer neck, it can creep around and move its head in different ways.
Yeah, and I can. Yeah, my idea was to give it kind of a serpentine locomotion there. So, just kind of snaking around a little bit. Kind of like if you can imagine how a snake would kind of bob its head around.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
Yeah, because I don't want to talk too much. This will be the last thing I say, but it definitely looks like when it walks, its whole body kind of undulates. I could see it being almost lizard-like, not like on four legs, but like when one leg moves forward, the torso contorts, and it'd be interesting.
Very snake-like.
Well, I like how Rick said he tried to make it natural. It does look very, very natural. I really like it. I could see this thing actually existing in the world today. I do like the head. I really do. I'm not. What's with the crest on the top of its head? Are those above on each eye, or is that just one single crest on the head?
It's supposed to be one single crest. Yeah, kind of like some Tyrannosaurs, like Guanlong and
that's
whatnot.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I do like how elongated it is. I get like what David said. I could see this thing kind of swaying around in a very serpentine way, or I could see this thing swimming too. I could especially see this thing swimming around, going on all fours every now and again.
Considering a lot of snakes are fairly good swimmers.
Yeah.
I totally agree with Fred with the swimming part. I was going to mention that. I could totally see this swimming through the rivers of the park with
That'd be badass.
Kind of like going like a shark fin. Its crest on top of the.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man, yeah.
I have to do an animation off of this.
Man,
you've won.
It's going through the dark corridor, and it's bobbing its head through the little bars and stuff like that. I think that would be really freaky looking. This thing, this is my top. This is one of my top D-Rex drawings right here. I just love this design so much.
We love you, Rick.
Thank you. So that's mine. And then we have Fred's. Let me post his. So there we go. Now this one, I almost think of it as almost like a better version of mine, is what it looks like to me. That's just my opinion. Maybe it's just the art style, I don't know. But I can see you have the very nice elongated body, relatively low profile. All the proportions look perfect for its size. It has a very well-proportioned head for like a T-Rex, but it does incorporate both raptor and snake very well, and that's what I particularly like about it. The claw, I think the claws are really cool too. How you've got the it looks almost like a T-Rex, except there is kind of a little stubby third claw there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to put in there to make it, because it was in between the raptor and the Rex. So
that's what I like. Come out. And then also the kind of the half toe claw thing too. That's really cool. How you made it a sickle claw, but more subtle, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at it. I'm listening to all the input, and I'm just agreeing in my head.
Exactly.
This is a very powerful design, Fred. My favorite, honestly, like, I'm inclined to say my favorite part is the face, because I love snakes so much, and you did a good job of incorporating that, like how the lips cover the face completely. On Rick's design, you could still see his teeth hanging out like the T-Rex, but to feel more like a viper, which yours reminds me of like an eyelash viper. But like, I think it's really nice that you hid the teeth with the lips. But honestly, my favorite part of this entire design are the hands. Do you guys see this? Like, it has two fingers that are a lot. It's so cool to me, because like it looks like it's meant to have two fingers, but
Isn't
like
the
third claws came out by accident. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a vestigial finger. Like they unlocked the gene to bring it back out, but so that way it doesn't have like these fully pronounced 3 fingers like a lot of the other designs, like like have straight up raptor hands. Like it looks like T-Rex arms, but just with the genes spliced to where the radius and ulna are longer, and the like just the way it looks, it still looks like a T-Rex arm, but it's got the raptor claws. I think that's a really cool way you did that. I prefer the length of the neck on Rick's D-Rex to yours, but I will admit yours, the way the tail moves, suggests an equally fluid motion. So it still reads very much like a dinosaur, which is really cool. And before I let someone else talk, I also like how you handled the feet, because it still has the sort of sickle claw, but it's not like that big, obnoxious, like dromaeosaur trademark claw. It's just slightly big enough, and the way you handle the length of the toe, how it kind of curves like that, it suggests that it could be raised if it needed to, but doesn't, because it addresses the size of the creature. It looks like it can actually hold itself up with these feet.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everybody here. Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say. It's just an awesome drawing.
That's what happens when you go last, I guess. But
anything else you want to add about it, Fred?
No. I tried to, not really, but I tried when I was drawing it earlier today. I was trying really hard to figure out, how the hell am I going to put a cuttlefish in here? I don't know what to do. So I was thinking about giving it some kind of, those if you look at the body of the cuttlefish, it's got this weird fin kind of thing that goes around the body, like an outline.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting that like around the neck and the torso or something, but then I threw it out. I think I'll just color it. Its default coloration will be the same as the cuttlefish. So
yeah,
I'll get to that later on.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah, that would.
So yeah, that was Fred's. So overall, really like it. Personally, I like it more than mine.
Oh, you should be flattered, Fred.
So he's definitely one up to me there. All right, and then we have Marty's here. Now Marty's design. This is another really unique design, and I like it for different reasons than I like Fred's. Because it does kind of the same thing with D-Rex, it just takes it in a different direction. Very, very nice head that looks very Tyrannosaurid-like, but you can definitely see some snake in there. I like how you made the forked tongue a lot more subtle, like it was a normal tongue that just had a weird genetic anomaly that made it slightly forked. Like that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did anyway. Kind of like the extra third claw on Fred's.
Yeah.
So overall, I like it. I don't have too much to say about it. It's a really fluent design. I think it incorporates the different features very well. I like that you avoided the toe claw, kind of like I did on mine. What do you think about it, David?
First of all, before I even try to critique it, my question is, why does it have the two horns on the snout? What are those for?
Okay. So. I know there are some snakes that have little hornlets at the end of their snouts.
Okay, like a rhinoceros viper or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, because the way they point away from each other like that, and the way they're resting on the snout, it made me think of like a pachycephalosaur or something. Like that was the first thing that came to mind. So I'm looking at this theropod and I'm thinking of pachycephalosaurs. But okay, but as for the actual design, I definitely agree with Rick on how you handled the tongue. That's really cool right there. The inside of the mouth is really neat, because I like how as you get closer to the front of the front of the jaw, the teeth not only get smaller, but it seems like they actually don't go all the way around. There's a gap between where the rows of teeth are, and that's a really important feature because it suggests the movable jaw parts. And in general, I would say it's a pretty conservative design, because it looks like an actual believable dinosaur.
That's true.
Because it doesn't have like the really long neck or really long torso. Like you didn't go crazy with the snake stuff on this, and I like that, but at the same time, I feel like you could have pushed it more and came out with something that was more bizarre and interesting. Not to say that this isn't interesting, but it
No, you're
literally
right.
does look like a real dinosaur, and I like that. But at the same time, I feel like Universal would probably want something a little bit more, because this looks like it, like literally like a Tyrannosaur, not like their Jurassic Park T-Rex, but it looks like something that could be related.
You're right.
And the way you handle the hand, it reminds me of Fred's, but it's like that little vestigial finger grew a little bit. So it's kind of like Fred's
so
dinosaur. Fred's dinosaur evolves into yours. We're gonna do a little Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon, man.
At level 36, Fred evolves to
He
Marty.
comes upon the T-Rex and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get bigger. I gotta get."
You gotta get that D bigger.
Oh, there you go. Sequel to Jurassic World.
Oh no.
Rapidly evolving D-Rex.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, that's so terrifying.
Pokemon crossover.
Yeah,
Watch out! Gotta catch 'em all.
that Pikachu.
All right. So,
For
let's
my
see, do you have
opinion-
anything?
I don't have much, but I do like Marty's design. Yeah, I like how it's got a heftier design. It's more beefy. I like that. I like its head. I really do.
Oh, well,
I like
thank
its
you.
pouch too. I could see doing a bunch of damage to the other dinosaurs.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, it is pretty brutish, and that is what I like.
Oh yeah.
Like with my design, and I think with your design a little bit too, Fred. We went for a more evasive, stealthy kind of predator.
Oh
where
yeah.
Marty's is definitely more upfront and brutish.
Oh yeah, because
Like-
definitely to add to that, it kind of reminds you of like Pterosaurs or something. Like I could see this
Yeah.
T-Rex just walking in and just knocking Spino over, just like excuse
Yeah.
me. Like looks like a very aggressive animal, a very
Yeah.
aggressive and
Yeah,
powerful.
for
animal.
my design, I kept thinking about the Mega Raptor in Jurassic Warpath, because if you see the gameplay, that raptor is everywhere. Its agility is amazing. And I'm playing this thing and I'm like, holy crap, this raptor is crazy. This is worse than the one in the movie. That's what I was thinking about when I was drawing this guy. I wanted to make
Yeah.
his torso a little longer, but I could like what you said, I could see my version being more agile. It's more about just
Yep.
whipping your ass, but Marty's is more like kicking your ass.
Yeah, man. Marty's
Yeah.
just like he'll bully somebody. He'll just
Yeah.
step
Yeah.
on 'em.
Yeah, look at this
Spit
thing. Has
on
even
him.
got the horns?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. He's the school bully right here.
Oh, yeah.
Little split tongue thing, little teenage rebellion going
Oh,
on
God.
there.
Oh,
That
man.
John Hammond moment. Man, looking at all you guys' designs makes me really wish I would have put together a D-Rex. I mean, sure, I could still do one, but it's just kind of like, well, we've already talked about it. I don't know if we'd feature it in another podcast, but
We will.
definitely,
At the beginning
Yeah,
of the
me-
next podcast, we'll show yours, and then we'll do the
Okay.
other stuff.
Yeah,
because
maybe
definitely
we'll
I
have
can
more
at least.
contributions from some other people too, so we'll just see. But anyway, we still have a couple of more to look at here. Now, this other one, let me get it posted here. There we go. This one here, someone tell me a little bit about this one, because I'm actually not sure anything about where this one comes from or what.
All right. So, someone had posted at Jurassic Park Legacy, a guy in London who said that he saw a few toys from the new Jurassic World movie, and one T-Rex didn't look right, and he described it. It basically looked like this. It's the most accurate of what people have been drawing on the site.
Huh.
So this is apparently it was a T-Rex with a T-Rex body, a head that looked sort of like a raptor and a Rex hybrid, a bendy tail, and long arms. Now we're not entirely sure how accurate his statement is,
Right.
but this is what he said was accurate.
And this is his. So this is like a
No, this is
first-hand drawing.
This is another member's drawing, but he
But he says that he had seen the toy himself.
yeah. And
So
when
this-
someone drew it, he said, "Yeah, this is pretty accurate."
Oh, so someone else drew this and then
Yeah.
he confirmed it. Okay.
And
Yeah, they drew it based on his description.
Right.
And now I'll
Okay.
link the name to the artist after we do this.
Okay. I'm not gonna say this one's terrible, but like I'm really hoping this is not official, because it doesn't have any of the same vibe that any of the other ones do. I mean, it looks like a frog to me.
Right.
You know, I mean, I see a lot of frog in there. It looks very amphibian-like. It just doesn't look very. Not to say that amphibians can't be intimidating, but just this design itself just does not look very intimidating. It looks kind of goofy just from a design standpoint. Like, this is not my idea of the new iconic dinosaur of the Jurassic Park franchise. I just don't get that vibe at all. I do think the squirmy little tail is interesting. That's kind of snake-like. That's kind of cool. But overall, I'm just not really a big fan of this one at all.
I would have to agree with Rick's statements. I mean, like to give it some like, I guess you could say benefit of the doubt, play a little bit devil's advocate. When you zoom in and look at the teeth, I do like how they handled the teeth. Again, it's more snake-like than anything. They've been veering away from the sort of blade-like teeth of a theropod and gone for the more needle-like teeth. So that's the one good point I'll definitely give it. But I have to agree, like the way the head is designed has this kind of salamander frog-like look, and the overall texture of the skin looks like it lacks scales, which I think is cool because that kind of references the cuttlefish more. I do think
now that I think about it, I do want to mention that was what I was going for with my design as well. Is mine was intended to be scaleless as well for that cuttlefish thing. So anyway, continue on.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a nice touch, but overall, the handling of the neck and the torso, like what we've seen from your design, Marty's design, and Fred's design, it speaks a lot to the concept that, like, there's pretty much the hybridization is here in this particular design, but it's really forced. It's got the neck of the T-Rex, the head of like a frog. It's got the raptor arms, the T-Rex legs with raptor feet, and the kind of like squiggly snakely tail. Like, honestly, I don't want to make fun of this, but just whenever I look at the eye, the way it's got that kind of almost like eyeshadowy effect to it, the way they handle that, just this something about its face just makes me think of Yoda for some reason.
Yoda?
Like Yoda, or maybe like the Gremlins or something. Like, this looks like something I've seen before that wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, for my opinion, you know what it... Oh, I'm sorry, you done yet?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, sorry, cut you off. Okay, for my opinion, what the face reminds me of? It's not as intimidating by far. It looks kind of disappointing, but it does remind me, because of the eyes and the mouth, it does remind me like of that cockroach monster or alien in the Men in Black movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That guy is a beast, but this looks like a degraded version of it. I mean, it's not that special at all. It's a T-Rex with the raptor claw, arms, squiggly tail, and a snake head. That's it. It's not. I'm kind of disappointed if this is the official design, but the artwork is nice. I like how he showed us with the coloring and shading how it's lost its scales and has developed skin instead, like a real slimy look to it. But the design I'm talking about, it's kind of disappointing if this is the actual design.
Yeah.
I agree with everyone.
Well, the end. Time to go home. Marty agrees with everyone.
Next time we'll have Marty go first. Marty will go first next time. Next time we do something.
Okay, yeah, we will let Marty go first next time. And that time is now, so you better brace yourself.
Oh, God.
Marty's going first. So this last piece here, this is the last one we have in our lineup here. This is actually what looks to be there it is for you guys. This is what looks to be a molded bust of. Well, explain it to us, Marty. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here.
From what I read on the forums, it was supposedly a very early concept, like very early concept of D-Rex itself. So this is
okay.
I believe it was official at one time, but it's not
Right.
now. So, and this just surfaced. I've never seen this picture before.
Right. Yeah. This is my first time seeing it as
Yeah,
well.
So, I mean, it's unique.
That is definitely one way of putting it.
Yeah, but for me, honestly, it just looks like an Albertosaurus with a split skull. That's what That's what it looks like to me. It just looks like an Albertosaurus with a split skull.
Yeah,
but it does look badass. I tell you that. It just looks.
It looks pretty cool for a horror film.
It does. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For a horror film, it looks great. For a Jurassic Park film, no.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Like
it's Silent Hill.
I don't mind this design too much because, like we did take a very brief look at this one before we started recording, and it was either David or somebody made a brief comment about how some snakes can expand their upper jaws like that, and so this design is kind of incorporating that.
Oh yeah.
And I do see that, and I do kind of like it, and I would totally be okay if they continued with this this general idea. Like, I know this is supposed to be like an outdated concept for the D-Rex, but if they continued that idea of the top jaw being able to kind of split a little bit, I'm perfectly fine with it. I think it's badass. I mean, I think it would work really well, be very intimidating.
Oh yeah.
I do see a little bit of T-Rex Raptor hybrid in the forelimbs there. They are kind of longer, but you still see the two-fingered hands. If this is the direction the D-Rex, was going, then I'm really interested to see what the final concept looks like, because I'd imagine it would still carry on the spirit of what we see here.
I definitely agree with all these points. I will admit it's I'm not sure how I feel about the way the back and neck are designed, especially texture-wise. I really like the idea of this being a scaleless creature and more slimy. I honestly think the amphibian sort of vibe actually really works for D-Rex. But my favorite part of this entire thing is the skull itself and the head. I don't know how you guys feel about this idea. I'm not sure if you think it'd be a bit much, but I think it would actually be pretty cool if both jaws could split like that, because they're talking, it's supposed to be like part cuttlefish, and I can imagine if it opened its mouth and it sort of split 4 ways like that, it would really look like the tentacles. But at the same time, it's like it would still feel like the dinosaur skull. I think it'd be really cool.
True. That would be pretty cool.
Like it would.
Yeah, like those vampires and some of those very popular movies. Like, I can't remember what the movies are called, but the really popular vampire movies that are out there that were done quite a few years ago, they had a vampire whose mouth split into 4, kind of like Predator, kind of like this. So I'm thinking that's what I think of when I look at this.
Because for the D-Rex design I would actually try that. I would try to make all the parts of the jaw actually open up like that. Because if you look closely on the upper jaw, you can actually see there are some teeth in between the 2 jaw halves. It's not the whole skull split down the middle. It's literally just the mandibles coming off, and the rest of the jaw is still there.
Yeah.
And I think that is really cool and nifty. I just really like how that came out, and I wish that the lower jaw would have done it too, because the lower jaw doesn't hold up as well as the upper jaw, because it's just there. You know, it's just like this stiff jaw that's just there. It's literally like an upside down snake head, and which is, I guess, kind of interesting, but I don't think it'd be as powerful as a design, because given the context of the D-Rex, this is Jurassic Park, and the whole point of it is stop messing with animals' genomes. They come out looking crazy and stuff, and they attack people.
this goes to a deeper problem too. If they do make D-Rex a sympathetic character, then I could totally see them utilizing this to its fullest potential. Make it have some sort of genetic problems, physical problems. You just feel bad for that thing because it has such a split skull like that.
Yeah.
Can't eat
Oh,
right.
that's true.
Oh, I imagine it would eat very well.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
Doesn't look so suitable.
in the spirit of a snake, it probably just grabs thing in its mouth and just eats
Swallows
them.
it whole.
Yeah, like no more, violent tearing apart. Probably just literally just swallows people.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the kind of thing that would take a person and just chuck him down his throat, possibly even still alive. So if you can imagine this creature here in a scene where it eats a person alive and you can hear the person screaming all the way down the throat, I mean, that's a pretty intense movie monster right there. I mean, that's the T-Rex.
Yeah. I mean, I really do like this design. I'm not saying I hate it. It's just I like it. It's just I think it's more of a horror film than a Jurassic Park film.
True.
Well,
true.
I mean,
then again,
like T-Rex is supposed to be scary though. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a monster, but
I kind of retract what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, technically Jurassic Park is I guess maybe not horror per se, but
it is. I mean, it is technically a horror film. Yes, it's horror sci-fi.
But they had to make it more appropriate for kids because kids want to see dinosaurs. So
yes,
exactly.
In my honest opinion, it should be more horror.
It's kind of more like a almost action adventure than a horror because they kind of toned down on it so that younger people can go in and see it. But in general, I mean, the dinosaur designs I could call them horror, but this is like the next level. This is
Resident Evil, man.
Yeah.
This is Blades Vampires. I sent the link. I think we can show the pictures in the video later on.
Yeah, I saw that. I want
to see this for D-Rex. I want kids to walk out there with their legs shaking. This is what I want to see.
The D-Rex.
With urine running down their legs.
Ah.
Yeah, man.
They didn't call the D-Rex.
I mean, honestly,
okay, we're still recording, guys.
I really hope that whatever the final D-Rex design is, I really do hope it be I don't want to like it. I want to walk in and see it and see this creature and be like, it's repulsive, it's disgusting, and it bothers me. I don't want to look at it and be like, wow, that's so cool looking and awesome. I want it to be unsettling and freaky. I want to appreciate the design for the creativity of it, but I don't want to look at it like awesome or beautiful. I want this to be like a horrendous thing. Kill it with fire. I want I want this to be like a freaky creature.
Yeah.
Freaky in a good way.
Yeah, like something that could really change Jurassic Park, because in Jurassic Park 3 they tried to replace Tyrannosaurus with a beefed up Spinosaurus, and it's I liked Spinosaurus, but just looking back at Jurassic Park 3, since I've grown up a bit since it came out, it's I just don't feel like that was appropriate as a sort of thing to be the new face of Jurassic Park. I hope that this D-Rex comes out and actually really pushes the message of Jurassic Park about the genetic tampering and things like that, and trying to control nature, and this being the embodiment of the consequences. I want it to be a very just brutal looking thing.
So that's I think all we have to say about that right now. Feel free, any of you listeners out there, to submit more of your concept art for the D-Rex if you guys want us to check it out in our next podcast, maybe. We'd love to see that, definitely. Some more input maybe on what direction you guys think the D-Rex should go. I know, I'm personally really, really excited for the D-Rex and all that. So I can't wait to see it on the big screen and how it, all turns out. So anyway, with that, There are also a couple of really cool new discoveries that I think we want to focus on a little bit tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Because speaking of the aforementioned Spinosaurus,
Foreshadowing.
apparently there's some new material that is hopefully going to be published soon that will radically redefine what Spinosaurus is to us. Who wants to kick that off? Well, let's see, Marty. I know that you probably have something to say about it. What do you fill our audience in a little bit on this new discovery?
All right. So basically, Paul Sereno is about to publish a paper about new material for Spinosaurus, and there was an image leaked of the new skeleton of Spinosaurus. And my God, it looks very, very different from what we think it might have looked like. First of all, I'll harp on the spines. It's like a double spine. It's got a very tall spine from the front of the back. It dips down, and then it forms a higher spine to the hips, and then it goes completely flat from there. The second part, the neck is very robust from what I could tell. It's very low slung. The arms also are very robust. But the thing is, it's got a very elongated torso with very short stubby legs. And that's the thing that people are harping on the most. This animal is very aquatic.
Maybe this is not the new Spinosaurus. Maybe this is Paul Sereno leaking the D-Rex.
No!
No!
Leaking the D-Rex. God.
No!
That is not the direction I was going with that. But okay.
Plot twist, they didn't use the raptor, they used Spinosaurus DNA.
Yes, plot twist. Fooled you.
God.
Plot twist. Did they say cuttlefish? They meant Spinosaurus.
No, motherfuckers. That was so serious, and y'all fucking...
I'm sorry. You can continue on.
Okay. We all gonna be serious now?
Yes.
Okay. So, this animal obviously probably never left the water, and if it did, it probably only did it for a few minutes. This thing's legs could not support itself on land for very long, and most likely would have been either quadrupedal on the ground, doing kind of like an army crawl through the mud and stuff like that. I know one paleontologist did propose that.
Yeah, I saw that too. It makes a lot of sense, honestly.
It makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I like it. So, here we have a creature that, like you said, and to be honest, as surprising as this is, I actually was not taken aback by it. Like, I was surprised. Yeah. Like, it was really cool, but I wasn't like, I almost like I could have predicted it myself. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
exactly.
the double ridge,
I didn't see that coming though.
The double ridge sail was more
double ridge spine. I mean, we are speculating. Right. Well, maybe Spinosaurus had the same thing. That's what people were speculating. And
yes,
what happened? And then the stubby legs too. I know there has been some speculation for a while now that Spinosaurus did have a much lower profile, and this just kind of. I mean, this is like. It's just so weird how it happened. How just. It's like everything we were predicting has just all of a sudden come true. It's just weird.
It seems like Bob Barker was correct in that Spinosaurs in general tended to get very aquatic as their evolution progressed. So he's having the last laugh now.
I think so, yeah. And the whole idea too with the stubby legs is what we were going to bring up is that. Who was it? It was, what was the blog called again? The guy who discussed it.
I'll pull it up.
But anyway, there's one of the guys just covered this on the internet on his blog, Antediluvian Salad.
Yep.
That's the blog, Antediluvian Salad. So on his blog, this guy discussed the new Spinosaurus material a bit, and he basically proposed that the low profile was for the Spinosaurus to be able to efficiently basically slide through mud wallows like a crocodile can, if you think of saltwater crocodiles on mud flats out in Australia. So that was kind of the idea, and I could totally see that. Like, I can totally see that.
It's
yes,
so
most
natural
definitely.
now.
And then just being able to just dip right into the water and start
Just makes
swimming.
the most
So
sense. Like I said, the only thing that was striking to me was the sail. I was
I don't
back by
what-
the legs.
yeah,
what was the thought process that went through that? I mean, I know I'm not trying to talk down or anything. I'm just saying it. I don't understand what I realize that this Spinosaur has his sail this way, so it makes sense the Spinosaurus had his sail this way, but it should kind of be different, right? I mean, it looks so odd now. We're so used to the rounded sail. Now we've got this very squarish looking thing.
Could the sail in the front be anchors for heavy musculature, since the neck seems to be extremely robust?
True.
Perhaps so.
totally
That could
see it.
explain why the back end of the sail is large as well. That could be either from the legs or the tail. Because if this animal, as large as it is kind of like sliding and like moving through mud, then it needs a lot of power to be able to do that.
yeah.
I mean, forget about giant land battles. This thing's not going to leave the water.
No,
it's gonna
I mean, but
crap out of anything that comes near the water, though.
Oh yeah.
This thing is like, I mean, this is the dinosaurian answer to crocodiles right here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Without a
just
doubt.
like some people are already starting to be like, oh man, this thing just looks retarded now. But I'm just thinking this is ever more badass than it could ever have been. This is
the
just
most badass thing
like-
I've ever seen.
like just don't even go to the beach anymore. I mean, your kids aren't safe. You're not safe
know.
from this thing.
Oh yeah.
When I saw
I mean,
Dwan Nash's sketch, and it's got the Spino with his arms forward, and he's going through the mud, I immediately think of I could imagine this thing sitting in the mud on a hot day, and you're with a Nigel Marvin or the Crocodile Hunter ripoff, and he's like, oh come on, we could totally check this guy out. And we're going close to this thing, and I can hear, and I could see my feet shaking because this thing is bellowing so loud because it doesn't want you to get close, and you're sitting there like, no dude, you go ahead, I'm not getting close to that thing. I can see this thing being a powerhouse just sitting there, didn't even have to move.
It almost makes me want to cancel my Baryonyx drawing to just draw Spino, but no.
I'm going to do a stop motion of this. I really am. I can't wait to try it.
I'm actually glad about this new discovery, that it has been publicized when it has, because right now I'm actually working on a story set in the time period of Spinosaurus, and I'm thrilled because now I can incorporate this new understanding of Spinosaurus into my story, and oh man, this is gonna be
So much potential, man.
This is gonna make T-Rex look like
to go to
child's
what
play.
you said, I also have a story that takes place in Spinosaurus' time and location, and this new discovery actually changes everything what I was trying to work with. Like, it kind of makes it more interesting because I wanted to get stories about drought and how animals respond to loss of water. And the Spinosaurus was actually going to be an antagonist to this story because its environment dried up. So now it's on land it's infringing on the environment of these other dinosaurs. But with this new discovery suggesting that it's this tied to the water, like just the way it would engage with the other animals in its environment, I feel would just be so much different. I can't imagine it playing the same role with this new discovery, because I would have depicted it getting into confrontations with Rugops and Carcharodontosaurus, but the way this looks right now, he has no business messing with those guys.
Exactly. And that's fantastic
he could still teach
thing about
Rugops. Oh, I think he could teach Rugops if you slap him in the face. But
I think so.
It's just the game. The game has changed for Spino and Carchara. I tell you that.
Yeah, and the thing is, because you find examples in the fossil record, particularly with dinosaurs, a lot. And even today, there's lots of modern examples how different large predators can coexist just because they fill different ecological niches. And we already know that Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic and spent a lot of time around water. So we already did have an idea of how it could have coexisted with Carcharodontosaurus, but now, I mean, it'd be unlikely that the two would have even had confrontations at all. You know, I mean, this thing, like you said, it looks like it never would have even left the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, like on the flip side, thinking about my particular story direction dealing with droughts, I imagine like that would be a very severe problem to Spinosaurus. Like if its water sources were to actually be depleted. Looking at its legs though, like, man, I guess like to move around the land it would have to do quadrupedal motion, because like looking at the little picture of the two guys, I guess Sereno and somebody else, like those legs actually, they're not even as long as Majungasaurus. Like I don't think this thing could like stand up straight.
You thought Majungasaurus had short legs. Ugh.
Yeah.
You thought wrong.
And then National
Cerritos
Geographic has this thing in some ridiculous, running pose too. Like that's not.
No, that's
like
not
that doesn't help.
Yeah, they make it look like the dinosaur version of a corgi dog, man.
Yeah. The skeleton reminds me so much of old, vintage, not really vintage, but retro Spinosaurus and Baryonyx drawings and sculptures and toys where they'd be on all fours. And now I'm thinking about it walking around on all fours, but then every now and again, it kind of get off the ground a bit to look around and then get back on its fours and kind of keep doing that crocodile waddle, if anything. I think it looks really cool on all fours, to be honest.
Yeah.
It
does.
Yeah, and of course,
so ironic.
the only issue, of course, with that is that dinosaurs, of course, they had supinated forelimbs. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
They articulate their arms, kind of like how modern birds do, to make it look like the illusion that it's pronated.
They could, yeah. So I can still imagine Spinosaurus to a degree using those forelimbs to push itself along, but I don't expect it to be walking like a crocodile. And to be honest, I mean, I totally think that it would be able to support its body weight on those legs. It's just on land, it probably wouldn't be getting anywhere very fast.
Yeah.
It would just kind of, be lumbering on land.
Yeah, it's a submarine dinosaur.
Kind of.
Right,
Very
yeah,
slowly. I see this animal being pretty fat, I'm not going to lie. I mean, if it is spending the majority of its time in the water, it's probably going to be chunky.
Yeah, I can see that too. Maybe a pretty wide torso too, kind of like a crocodile.
Yeah, we haven't even seen this thing on aerial view, so we don't know how wide it is really.
No, yeah, it's true. I cannot wait. I mean, people are already starting to come out with new illustrations and stuff for it, and I just cannot wait to see the new wave of paleo art that's gonna be coming out about this guy.
That's why
or a future, or like even a future, the next dinosaur documentary we get, and maybe it has Spinosaurus in it. I can't wait to see the model.
It most likely will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine them not including Spinosaurus because of this rather groundbreaking discovery for a well-known dinosaur.
It's amazing when, I thought 2014 had already about maxed out its shock factor for us, but Dinochirus was pretty weird, but Spinosaurus just must have been getting jealous or something, because
Spinosaurus
you think you're weird?
Oh hell.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pulling the weird card. All those humans in the future are gonna see so maxed out. Damn it! I'm gonna get short. How about that? That's right. I'm gonna spend all my days in the water. Screw you, Dinochirus.
Slide through the mud.
So I wonder how it interacted with the big ass crocodiles then.
Oh, that must have been
beat
so
the crap
cool.
out of him. It's like,
I bet they might have even had some conflict in their ecosystem, because I cannot imagine that Spinosaurus would have. I mean, it seems to me like this thing all of a sudden fills a niche very similar to that of a crocodile.
Yeah.
You know, Rick, now
No?
that you mentioned that, I was made a picture of Spinosaurus the other day, and I had various people commenting on it, and someone was asking if Sarcosuchus was from Spinosaurus' time and era,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dr.
Saw that.
Thomas Holt was correcting them, saying that it was not.
Yeah.
And
it
looking
was
at
Suchos.
Spinosaurus right now, it actually makes sense that like Suchomimus could have became Spinosaurus and ultimately replaced Sarcosuchus. Because like it seems like it would be able to
That's
occupy
true.
the same niche. Like it's,
And then of course you still have the sail, and like that's still a mystery though. Like what was it using that big hump or sail for? Like I mean that this new discovery, I mean it certainly answers a few questions, but it brings up a slew more. So
Oh yeah.
like what the deal, like we still don't really know what the sail is for.
I do like the theory that it used it as a shadow so that fish would congregate
Yes,
towards it.
I like that one too.
The thing is, though, we don't know how fast this animal was. We don't know how fast its reflexes were. So if it did do that, it most likely would have used it like that. But you
Right.
never know.
That's just one of those things. Yeah, and I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you could always resort to, oh, it's like a sexual display feature, you know.
But then why get it so huge?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
It could be to warn because it's so short. It would have to have a very large sail in order to show the large sauropods that would come near the water. Don't step on me, you know, at the same time, right?
True, but then again, having a large spine like that is very it's a big
Odd.
handicap. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
handicap.
Well, nature's definitely weirded itself out, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the weirdest structures in nature do all serve a sexual purpose.
Yeah.
So I can totally imagine this sail now just being like a sexual display structure. I mean, look at Megalosaurus. I mean, that thing way maxed out its antlers.
Yeah.
All in the name of sex. So, yeah, so I can totally imagine that Spinosaurus just took its sexual display structure to an extreme with the sail there. But I still do like the shadow in the water hypothesis. But I'm honestly at this point just seeing what this animal is now. I am leaning more towards it being a display structure at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really see it being anything else.
The shape is really weird too. Like, what is with the dip? Like with
Yeah.
Ichthyovenator, I mean,
I still
I
think
don't-
Ichthyovenator is just a broken vertebra. It doesn't.
you think
Yeah.
so?
I still think it's a broken vertebra. I mean,
I
that thing
agree
was
with Marty.
already very broken anyway.
Right. That's entirely possible. In which case, we made a prediction about Spinosaurus based on something that wasn't actually a thing, which is really weird when you think about it.
Yeah. Just
But
goes
in
to
any
show
case,
we really don't know what dinosaurs really look like.
no,
I know, it's so
mean,
scary.
This
It's so
just
exciting too.
I know. I mean, this thing. I mean, as if the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park wasn't inaccurate enough.
Oh,
I
It's a
mean,
movie
oh my
monster now.
gosh.
It is not a Spinosaurus. It is a movie monster. We gotta give it
Yeah.
a name.
Literally.
It's a retro Spinosaurus. Come on, give it a break. It's
Literally.
a retro Spinosaurus now.
It wasn't even accurate at that time.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because not even the T-Rex. Nothing was exactly accurate. It was. They were all dinosaurs that were just made to be more generic looking. That's how I see it. I mean,
Yeah.
JP
It's all
Spino is
for
pretty much
looks.
Suchomimus with a sail.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
more like Baryonyx, because Suchomimus is a lot more forward swung than Barry.
That's true.
Why do people think Baryonyx and Sucho are the same thing? They lived at different times and different
Different
places.
times,
They look different,
places,
too.
They had
the
very
skull.
different skulls too.
Yeah.
Very different.
Isn't Baryonyx's head smaller to the ratio of his body than Suchomimus? Like Suchomimus, I seen his skull, a picture of Suchomimus on that same page where
They have all three of
you
them on
sent
the
with
page.
that you sent with the Spinosaurus stuff. His skull is so thin compared to his big belly, and his head is like so long, but it's so thin.
Yeah.
It's like a needle head. But anyway, it's an amazing leap for Spinosaurus discoveries.
Spinosaurus just became a whole lot more badass.
I know. So
I mean,
awesome.
this is like, whew, dinosaur crocodile.
I'm gonna have
Hell
to change it. I'm gonna have to change his look in my Minisaurs videos.
Croc.
I was just about to say that.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So what's next?
So that is the first of a couple of interesting new discoveries that have emerged lately. The other one is a massive pterosaur bone bed that was discovered recently. I'm going to see if I can pull up some information on that real quick. If someone wants to maybe
I think it's in
kick it
Brazil.
off.
I know I sent you a link to the article on Skype. Let me try to pull it up.
Yeah. I'm trying to get past the ogre pictures.
Yeah.
Here we go. I found it.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna put it here on Skype.
Good.
I
yeah,
haven't read.
it is in Brazil.
It's just an odd thing. Like, how did all those pterosaurs get preserved? They're not terrestrial.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, new flying reptile found in unprecedented, and then not only is this a pterosaur boneyard, but it's a pterosaur boneyard of a new species too.
Exactly.
That makes it
Double
even
I-
better.
Yeah, let's see if I can pronounce this thing. Kaiuajara,
What?
I guess.
Why the hell
Yeah.
do pterosaurs have the most outlandish names?
I don't know.
I know.
Ask the
Just
people
name
who
it
name them.
Flyos. I know. Just name it
Like a
Flyosaurus.
Flygon.
Flygon.
Wingosaurus.
Yeah,
Flygon.
Flygon.
Just name it
Wingadactyl.
Wingadactylus.
Megalosaurus.
So, but this discovery is fascinating because it preserves, what was it? Like the number was over 40 individuals, right?
Yeah.
Believe it.
47 pterosaurs, yes.
Damn.
47 individuals buried in this massive bone bed. And all the specimens were preserved throughout multiple different stages of their lives. So that's just extraordinary new information on the growth process of a pterosaur, at least this type of pterosaur. So we can kind of see how they grow, what kind of they looked like at different points in their lives, and it's absolutely fascinating. And what I want to know is how they all came to be buried like that.
This is something me and David were talking about a while ago. Is that was it that we think they got buried the way they were because there was a storm overseas and that they might
Yeah.
have,
That sounds like it makes sense. The most
Yeah,
sense.
what I was saying
Light
is like
patterns were
they were
messed up.
probably a group that was migrating for breeding purposes. Like they were either going to their destination or coming from it, and they were intercepted by some kind of a storm and washed
Right,
away.
because the area
Because-
they were buried was basically an oasis in a desert, right? If I remember correctly.
oh, was it? Okay.
It was.
not
That's
sure.
what I remember reading from the article, is that it was actually like an oasis type thing in
Then
like
it might
a
have been a
desert
sandstorm.
region.
Or
Very
maybe,
well could have been.
or maybe it's
Storm or
something.
something.
If it's an oasis, it's got water in it, right? So maybe the water was poisoned by some kind of natural chemical, or
That is
so they all swallowed
just
it, died.
possible, because
That
there are
is
places
absolutely
like that
too.
today.
Boom!
Especially considering these pterosaurs were preserved very well, and there was, because pterosaur fossils are very fragile, and it doesn't take a lot to degrade them before they can fossilize. So for
True.
them to have been poisoned is a very plausible hypothesis, I think, because that enables them to have died and possibly been buried by sandstorms and stuff without having gone through a traumatic death that would have destroyed them. Honestly,
Exactly. Yeah, that's what debunks
that-
my storm idea.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, not really.
entirely.
They could be on the ground and get through a snowstorm at the same. Not
Kinda
snow,
like the
sandstorm.
Oviraptors and
Yeah.
Gobi. How they're
True.
preserved.
Yeah. And
Cool.
two, the other cool thing about this study as well is that the younger individuals of these pterosaurs did not have a lot of morphological differences from the adults. They basically looked like miniature adults, which suggested that they were more independent from their adults, kind of like baby alligators,
Right.
where the parents will
Yeah.
watch over them, but the babies still very much fend for themselves, eating insects and things like that. You know.
Right. Right.
Yeah, instead of the sort of classic bird depiction where they're always sitting in the nest screaming and the mother feeds them.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually
So
think
that's
it does
just
make more sense for them to be
very unique insight into the social structure of pterosaurs. I mean, that's just really cool to me. I mean, just so much you can glean from this discovery, you know.
Yeah. It's just, especially for
Yeah.
a pterosaur too. I don't think we have many bone beds for pterosaurs.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. And this was, where was it again?
It's in Brazil. Let me check.
Yeah, it's Brazil.
It just says southern Brazil.
Okay. Is there like, do we know what bone bed or like like what
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 formation?
like fossil, yeah, like what formation this was in?
Let me check.
I don't think so. I don't.
Because
see
of
it.
course, all I have right now is the National Geographic article pulled up, and that
Yeah, that's all I
like-
have.
Yeah, that's all I got.
give me a lot on it
Oh.
there.
Oh, it shows
Well, we
an
could
area.
definitely point to our followers and see if they have any more information. We could make a discussion out of this with the viewers.
It shows an area. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not gonna butcher it. Sound like an idiot.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not even. I Spanish is no. I can't do it.
No speak Spanish.
Don't ask me to read it. Unfortunately, I can't read it either.
Come on, man. You're the closest to Spanish.
Oh
I know
my
I'm
gosh,
half
Fred.
Hispanic and I can't read Spanish.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Fred!
Come on,
Wow,
you're from Belize.
good
I
job.
know, but I don't do that. Shame. Bad friend. Bad.
Yes, way to be American. United States American, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it gives us an area it's from, but not like the formation or
Right.
everything. I don't know what formation that is like there, so. But you know,
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to pay $40 to find out.
yeah.
Sight? Ain't nobody paying.
Hell yeah. Hell no.
Well, these pterosaurs in the painting that's on the illustration that's on the website, it looks a lot like Tapehara and the other one that I can't remember
It's
the name.
related.
I know, but they
It's
look so
related to
similar now. There's like 3 I think we know of that look so similar. Tapehara, some other one, and this
There
guy.
you go. There's your inner Spanish coming out, keeping
Tapejara.
that J silent.
Oh,
Good
man.
job, Fred.
Ese Tapehara.
Oh man.
Oh,
Tapejara. I think you need to roll that R too.
Yeah.
Tapehara.
Oh, man.
There you go.
There we go.
Really?
Oh.
Anyway,
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone always does pronounce that name wrong.
Yeah.
I'm about
I
to
still say
say,
Tapejara. Well,
that's what I say. Tapejara.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tape it
yeah, I
jar.
don't mind. I say it both ways.
Tape it, Charlie.
Doesn't matter.
What a fucking rebel.
Yeah, it's long
jar.
A sound. Tape.
Tape.
Yeah.
Because I know this one is
Tape worm.
Payuajara.
There's no rape on the tape. There's no
Oh.
There's no breaks on the tape
Good,
jar.
good job, Fred.
Should have said. Should have
You
done that
messed
first.
up.
You got the idea.
So is this new pterosaur a tapejarid or what?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
Looks like one.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems like most pterosaurs from South America either are the Tapejara type or the other type with the longer snout. I want to say not Ornithochirus, but that kind of look where they got the long bill, the teeth, and then the crests on the.
You know what was pretty cool though? Yeah, they all look very much alike. But I saw an illustration. I think it's done by John Conway, where he did Tapeharid, and he put the he painted the crest just like the Brazilian flag, I thought
Oh,
that
really?
was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat.
Do you have a link for that? I actually want to see that. That's
Yeah,
I saw
I
it
wanna check
once,
that
but
out.
I'm looking for it. But I saw it once, and I was clapping. I clapped for that one. I was like, "Wow, that's a good idea."
Yeah.
I think it was John Conaway. I think so.
What are
I'm not
the
sure.
Brazilian flag colors?
Ask Tapajara.
I could see the a little bit sick to see this thing flying around for the World Cup this year. That's pretty funny.
Dude, somebody needs to make a drawing like that, like some kind of like Dinotopia spin-off where it's like during like the Olympics or World Cup or something, all the countries and nations, they all like have pterosaurs
Have their own
with their flag.
pterosaurs. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the crests.
Actually, that should just be a series of just. Maybe I should do that. I should just do a series of just pterosaurs, just national pterosaurs.
Yeah, United States gets Quetzalcoatlus.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Stars and Stripes.
No,
Yeah.
man, we got T-Rex. Pterosaurs are dinosaurs. What the hell?
You guys know better.
Yeah, man.
Same thing. Same thing.
Well, I think that's all in the way of the new discoveries that have been coming. Oh, there actually there was one more discovery that I think we could focus on a little bit. Let me see if I can remember. It was the new ornithischian,
Oh, yeah, the feathered.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the little,
Fulindodromius or
what's his
something
name?
like that.
Yeah, what is this name?
I'm
Was
not getting into that shit.
Isn't you're not getting into that?
Hell no. I'm done
Okay,
with I'm so done with the feather basal shit. Oh, God.
Well,
everything is fluffy. Ever since
apparently there was this new ornithischian dinosaur that was discovered to have feather-like structures on it, and it's happened before. I mean, this isn't the first
Oh, yeah.
supposedly feathered ornithischian, so it's really not that revolutionary or convincing to me, for that matter.
This
Yeah.
time they're sure, Rick.
Yeah.
They really mean it this time.
Yeah. And it doesn't change my opinion, my stance on feathered dinosaurs at all. And of course, we did talk about this before in our last podcast. So
That's why I don't want to get into it.
yeah. So I mean, but I just think that it's really got people going, though. Every new discovery like this, and I still don't see the connection. Like I'm waiting for something distinctly feather-like, in earlier theropods, kind of connecting Coelurosauria with basal dinosauria, kind of making that connection first. Before we start saying, pterosaur pycnofibers and ornithischian quills are all feathers too, because we're still lacking that fundamental evidence at the base of Dinosauria to say, yes, these are all feathers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree completely.
what you're saying.
So,
I feel you, Coach.
anyway.
I wouldn't be
That
surprised
is,
if we end up feathering everything.
Well, Ceratosaurus is safe.
Carnotaurus
He's
is safe.
He's safe.
Carnotaurus. Sauropods
Carnotaurus is not safe. I saw someone put little hair-like things on their Carnotaur, and I wanted to call them out, but I was like, this is still nice.
Oh, that guy's an awesome artist, but I actually kind of don't mind that. I mean, it looks pretty cool with the little. I mean, he didn't give it a big, ginormous coat like other people like doing to these poor other theropods. He didn't give him a ginormous, fluffy coat. He just gave him a little bit of hairs, and that was it. And I think it looks fine.
Yeah, there's just no evidence for it, though, and I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't look appropriate.
I just feel like there's a double standards when it comes to scaling.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't put feathers or fur-like structures on an ankylosaur either.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people do that, too.
That's no.
Big armor, scaly top with a big fluffy belly.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem right.
So that's pretty much what's been in the way of new dinosaur discoveries or extinct paleontology discoveries lately. Spinosaurus, Terasaur bone beds, and of course Coelendrodromius. So I think that pretty well concludes today's podcast. Thank you guys for joining us today. Again, we definitely would love to see some more D-Rex concept art. We're all kind of really into that right now.
I'll try to put one together.
The new movie, yeah. So feel free to, maybe if I have time, maybe I'll even throw together another concept. I don't know. We'll see if we can't. Because I just feel like there's so much to be said about it, and just with Jurassic Park, like the countdown has begun. Wasn't there like a countdown starting just the other day? Like we were officially 300 days away from it or something.
Yeah.
Yes. I saw that.
So 300 days is a long way to wait, but I'm counting the days down for sure. Thank you guys for those of you who did throw together some concepts that we featured today. Definitely looking forward to seeing more of that. So with that, I guess we will catch you all next time.
All right, we have been the Coprolites,
Where we take shit seriously.
sometimes more seriously than others.